What weird things happen during sex that nobody warns you about? When you accidentally pull out too far and almost snap your dick in half with the next thrust. Yeah, it's honestly the trying to take a screenshot but locking your phone instead moment bit on steroids lol. When you try to be sexy and pull out and go back and over, but all you're doing is making her queef. Lol is a girl that is the worst TTT and there's like nothing you can really do to stop it. Very hopeless feeling. Curious pets investigating. Amen. I locked the cats out and we fucked to the sounds of them crying at the door. Sigh. Their tears of sorrow only sweeten our intercourse. As a guy, trying not to cum often feels like those mini games where you have to keep a needle in the middle of a green zone while different factors try to push it left or right. You think you're about to finish. Better start counting prime numbers in your head to distract yourself. Nope. Got too distracted and now your erection is starting to go away. Now thrust harder to compensate and you now inexplicably feel like you're going to orgasm while having only a semi-erect penis. Then to top it all off, sometimes you stop just a millisecond too late and you get this pathetic 5% orgasm where you feel virtually nothing. Don't actually cum, but your dick has decided that the show is over and retreats for winter. Then you have to try to explain what just happened to some poor girl who thinks she did something to instantaneously kill your erection without any hope of it returning. I struggle so badly with this. Good to hear I'm not the only one. Sometimes you can't finish. Applies to both sexes. Not always a bad thing, as I know it can knock your pride. Weird, but something you work around. Most assume you're going to finish overly dramatically like in porn. Or at least that's what my friends and I thought. To spare my wife's feelings. Early in the relationship, if I couldn't finish, I faked it and claimed it must have been a ghost load. Edit. Highest rated comment for me. And it's about Inva's jizz. Thanks for the gold and silver folks. Did you just drool on my back and grunt to make me think you came? No. Women know about that. That's my go-to move when I'm too drunk to nut and I just want to lie down and rest my eyes. I hope not. I always seem to get away with it. Just tell them not to move till you grab a Kleenex to wipe it off and they can't see the fluid on their back. GHOSTLOAD. Edit. Guys and girls, I really appreciate the silver. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. God. These Metal Gear sequels are getting weird as shit. Edit. Everyone else is editing in their thanks. So I'ma do it too. Hip cramps. Basically when your legs are spread too wide for too long and your hip flexor becomes a traitor, requiring your leg to be straight, you'll be in too much pain for enjoyment. Even worse when it's both of your hip flexors cramping at the same time. Edit. Spelling. Edit 2. Never thought me admitting to getting hip cramps during sex would result in gold twice in addition to being my most liked comment. Thanks Reddit. Water is not a lubricant. Neither is hot sauce. Fire in the hole. Edit. Obligatory thanks for the shiny Reddit badges, kind strangers. The amount of stamina required and the significant value of general fitness. If someone had told me in school that gym class was mainly going to aid you in sexual contexts, I would have made a much greater effort. Likewise, I lost a good few pounds after my first sexual experience. No amount of horny power will ever negate the fact that you're out of shape. Just when she's getting close, my tongue cramps up. Jaw, fingers, and the needing to breathe when she has both your nose and mouth in just the perfect spot. When you're so close together that you're now basically stuck together with sweat and having to pull yourself apart after. And sometimes the hollows of your chest or whatever suction to theirs and make a fart sound. Then you've gotta stop and laugh. Chest farts are, indeed, a thing. So I dated this girl in college for a bit. The first time we fucked doggy, I was surprised to see her butthole dilate to the size of a dime. Never seen that before or since in any other partner. Sometimes I wonder if I imagined it. Edit. Well, so that blew up. To answer questions. My surprise came from the fact that I hadn't touched her asshole, it just gaped open all on its own. It stayed that way until she orgasmed, at which point it slammed shut with her orgasmic contractions. No, she didn't fart poop. No, I did not put it in her butt at that point. I know. I probably should have. I was young and relatively inexperienced. We did butt stuff eventually though, and I can confirm she was definitely into it. We didn't date very long though, she was cray. All the best ones are, it seems. You stare into the abyss long enough and it may stare back at you. I'm feeling the call of the void. She took a picture to capture the moment. You can be sexually incompatible with someone. They might want the deep, slow, romantic shit you see in movies. And you might want filthy, degrading, dirty talk. And you might be turned off doing what they like most. And vice versa. Also, the leg cramps. I can relate to that. My wife is into some really weird stuff, but she also thinks blood shouldn't be a lubricant. So, whatever. You mean sex ketchup. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Didn't know being cheeky would do that, haha. Grinding glaze. Your dick occasionally slips out. Then it tries to find a different hole. AKA the showstopper. Showstopper, yeah, that's an accurate term, alright. When you try out a new position and it really doesn't work. And you kind of just have to be like EHHHHHH. Next. When neither of you can get your angles right. Yeah, that's just my butt crack. A latex allergy makes things interesting for me. I have to always prepare and bring latex-free condoms if sex will be a possibility. It's a little awkward when a guy goes for a condom and I have to give him the briefing on what's up. And go for mine instead. And you can't really predict if it's a good fit for hi monsieur or fun stuff. Oh, I always keep latex-free condoms since my last GF had an allergy too. Found out it wasn't that rare. Something happens that you didn't necessarily want or plan for, then you realize you kind of like that. Kinks almost happened by accident. Edit. Thanks for the silver and gold, you kinky fucks. You realize your cat likes to watch. This is the worst, especially as they're not only watching but curious. You're in the heat of the moment, feeling good, forgetting you even have a cat. And then, you feel their little paws in places they should never be. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Forget about the paws. Our cat bites our fingers. I often look at my doorway and mutter, there's the pervert. Greater than poo or ver, flopping and slapping noises as your bodies meet. When you both have squishy tummies and your belly buttons meet up just right so they make a fart noise. Maybe that's just me. I call that the interstellar docking sequence. The noises. And the smells. Sex has its own smell. I used to deliver Chinese food and pizza in a resort mountain town. I delivered to someone at a fancy lodge once time and a dude in a robe opened the room door. The sex funk hits me square in the nose. Most potent I ever smelled. Like it was going to linger in the hallway for a while after the door closed. That strong. He asks me if I'm having a good night as he's paying me. And I said, not as good a one as you, and I hear a woman start cracking up in the room, monsieur. Edit. My first silver. Thank you, mystery benefactor. Nobody warns you about how disappointing shower sex can be. One person is always cold. Water is a terrible lubricant. It can be really cramped and uncomfortable. It's super easy to slip and hurt yourself. A lot better to just have sex and then shower together afterwards. Policemen will sometimes rudely interrupt you by knocking on the car window. Probably shouldn't be in their police car doing that stuff. Edit. So this is how I received my first platinum, monsieur, thank you. This happened to my buddy once. Cop asked him what he thought he was doing and he just pointed at his girlfriend. Edit. Thanks for my first gold. Kind stranger. Happened to me once and they were cool. Said, you two finish up and get out of here. Jokes on them. She never finished. What a power move. I'm a woman with long hair and poor eyesight. So I always have to play my hair back. Learned that early on. And if I want to see anything I have to have my contacts in. When people said you had to prepare for sex, this was not what I had in mind. BF and I both have miserable eyesight. I can't see more than 2 inches in front of my face without my glasses on. Same with hi monsieur. Sex is 65% trying to not scratch each other's glasses trying to make out. Your hand cramps up or your elbow starts hurting. Well, if you have a cold, and you are on top, it may happen that snot dribbles out onto your beloved, and this may or may not make you laugh. When you go to kiss your honey, and your nose is kinda runny, you may think it's funny, but it's snot. If your significant other is lactating, the oxytocin from sex can cause milk to squirt on you. This thread better not awaken anything in me. Oh, well, hello new fetish. Sometimes, hypothetically, the girl could be on top riding and you could wind up for a playful slap on the ass. Done. Accidentally slap yourself directly in the balls, causing great pain for one party and uproarious laughter for the other, pretty much derailing the whole thing. I wouldn't know anything about this, but it happened to a friend of mine. I'm waking up to ash and dust, I miss her ass and I slap my nuts. Sometimes even if a woman is really turned on, she doesn't get wet. ETA, thank you for the gold. Sheets come off. Mattresses slide. Blankets start to bunch up no matter how flat they lied. Pillows nowhere near the two of you will get launched. Things on the headboard are gonna fall over, just watch. Sex will turn a bed that is perfectly made into one that just hosted a slumber party, with a big sweat spot down the middle. Your first paragraph reads like a poem, and I can't tell if that's intentional or not. Some people are absolutely amazing, sexy, wonderful people, but you just don't enjoy sex with each other. Sometimes it's libido differences, and sometimes it's just certain things don't do it for you. I dated someone who had a high sex drive like me, but she loved teasing. I don't mind it sparingly, but literally every time she deliberately stopped before I was finished she got off on me being frustrated and wanting her more. Something like that just won't work out if you don't also enjoy that. But for her, normal sex didn't do it for her, so even though we had great chemistry, we would never see eye to eye in the bedroom, monsieur. Some people can't do two physical things at once, so they might be able to kiss, but once having sex they're bashing teeth, sticking tongue out too far, rotating the head the wrong way. Just wrong. It's like they can't coordinate two types of bodily movement at once. Always wash after eating hot wings. Fingers and face. Edit. Damn Silver. Thanks. I'll pass it on to the wife. She's the one that deserves it. I am so sorry. My mouth dries up to the point when I swallow it sticks and I choke and have to stop and get a drink. I guess from heavy breathing, moaning and panting, or getting so wound up from him I almost pass out. Blurry vision afterwards. All those vaginal juices have to come from somewhere. Long sex does not necessarily mean good sex. For one, the girl can get sore, especially if the guy is big. It can also get boring if it goes on too long. It's all about finding the sweet spot. Timing-wise, I think it's been knocked into the heads of too many guys that the ideal is lasting for hours. For some women, I'm sure they love that. Others, not so much. Thank you. Some people don't understand this, especially from some girls' points of views. For me, 5 minutes of good passionate sex are better than hour-plus sex. Your mind wanders. Like, you'll be trying to enjoy what's going on and you'll know damn well that you've been wanting this to happen for a while, and you'll still have random one-off thoughts. It can take some self-discipline to stay in the moment, especially since not everything you're doing is necessarily what's best for you. How wildly varied orgasms and time can be. Sometimes you can be extremely turned on, go for too long and dribble at the end. Other times you're extremely turned on, fire off fast, and it's like you've got a hose. You've got those seconds rounds that fire off harder than the first. It just varies so damn much. This isn't even exclusive to sex. I've disappointed myself before over how little I made me coup, monsieur. Edit. Thanks for the silver. can't believe this is now my most upvoted comment by far lol. For the ladies, it is just got wet afterwards. Things drool out of you for the rest of the day. Even if it isn't ejaculate. Edit. Oh my. Thank you so much for the upvotes and popping my gold cherry. Kinda weird that my best comment on this site is about pussy soup. But yeah? Thank you so much, kind stranger. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.